Dutch harbour traffic, FV Titan, requesting departure clearance. 100 souls on board. Destination, Bristol Bay. Copy, Titan. Be advised, barometer is dropping rapidly. 980 millibars and falling.
You're looking at a spreadsheet that could make or break a man's life. Captain Elias Thorne is signing the largest crab quota contract in deadliest catch history. $15 million. But here's what the numbers don't tell you. The ink on the paper represents a gamble that Wall Street wouldn't touch. £1.5 million of red king crab, $10 per pound. The math looks simple until you see the fine print. $6 million in lease fees, money paid up front to quota barons just for the permission to fish. $2 million in diesel, bait and insurance. That $15 million just became $3.5 million. And that's only if everything goes perfectly. If a tank pump fails or the ice moves in, the profit margin evaporates. The FV Titan sits at Dutch Harbour. 160 feet of steel and hydraulics, a floating factory worth $8 million. But the ocean is preparing a counter-offer. Weather systems are building across the Bering Sea. The forecast shows a polar low, a hurricane-force depression that forms in the Arctic vacuum. Translation: hell on water.
Provisions loaded. 20,000 gallons of diesel topped off. We are heavy, Cap. She's sitting low.
Leo Martinez, 22 years old, steps aboard carrying one duffel bag and $60,000 worth of hope. His mother's medical bills are past due. He has 4 weeks to earn what most people make in 2 years. The ocean doesn't care about chemotherapy costs, but Leo's betting his life that Captain Thorne can pull off the impossible. This isn't fishing. This is industrial warfare disguised as commerce. And in zero visibility, with 15 tons of ice accumulating on the rigging, that $15 million contract becomes a death sentence waiting to be signed.
On deck, we are over the grounds. Depth 240. Current 0.7 knots north. Let 'em fly.
Bait up, herring and cod. Let's go, let's go!
250 steel cages, 800 pounds each when empty. 1.2 million pounds of equipment hangs from hydraulic cranes over Bristol Bay waters that can kill you in 4 minutes flat. The deployment is military precision. GPS coordinates logged to the second. If the pot lands upside down, it catches nothing. If it lands on rock, it's lost. Each pot costs $1,500. Lose a string of 30 pots to shifting pack ice, and $50,000 vanishes into the abyss forever. The math is relentless.
Pot away. Mark it. Next one in 12 seconds.
72 hours later, the soak is done. The first haul. The hydraulic block screams as it lifts the pot from the bottom. A vertical mile of rope under tension. Plugged. That's the word every crew lives to hear. The pot comes up black with red king crab, spiny armor moving like a living carpet. The sorting table becomes a conveyor belt of violence. The crew measures carapace width with a legal stick. 6.5 inches. Male, keeper. Female, back to the sea. Juvenile, back to the sea. The mathematics are brutal. 230,000 keeper crabs needed to fill the tanks. Each legal male represents $65 of revenue. Miss the quota by 20%, and Captain Thorne goes bankrupt. Iron Mike, the deck boss, handles each crab like it's made of gold. Because at these prices, it might as well be. In the Bering Sea, every creature you touch is either worth money or worthless. There is no middle ground. 20 hours on, 4 hours off. The human body wasn't designed for this arithmetic, but $500,000 in crab moves across the deck every day, and the ocean doesn't operate on union schedules. Hallucinations set in. Men see shadows moving in the waves.
Watch the line! Watch the damn line, Leo! You're drifting!
Leo stumbles toward the coiling line, exhaustion making him clumsy. His boots slip on crab slime. Iron Mike's voice cuts through the wind like a blade. Move! The hydraulic line snaps past Leo's head, 2,000 pounds of tension traveling faster than sound. It would have cut him in half. The snapback zone. Physics becomes lethal when steel cable under extreme tension finds its breaking point. The mathematical reality. Human bone has a tensile strength of 150 megapascals. These lines exceed that by a factor of 10. There is no hospital out here. A broken femur is a death sentence.
Bridge, this is engine room. We got high pressure on tank 2. Recirculation is clogged.
Below deck, Sarah crawls into the pump room as alarms scream. The circulation system is failing. Salt water must move constantly through the crab tanks or the cargo dies. The dead tank effect. When crabs suffocate, they release ammonia, a toxin that poisons every other crab in the tank. $3 million becomes toxic waste in 60 minutes. Captain Elias demands faster pot turnover. 5 minutes becomes 3 minutes per pot. The crew moves like machines, but machines don't hallucinate from sleep deprivation. In the Bering Sea, fatigue isn't just dangerous, it's bankruptcy with a body count. The rhythm is bloody because it has to be. Stop for rest, lose the season. Push too hard, lose your life.
Warning, heavy freezing spray advisory. Air temp -25. Water temp +4. Visibility 0.
3 a.m. The temperature gauge reads -25 Celsius, but the ocean beneath them holds at +4 degrees. When supercooled air hits warm ocean water, physics creates something that looks like hell's own fog machine. Sea smoke. That's the meteorological term. The Titan isn't sailing through air anymore. It's moving through what looks like boiling milk. The bow disappears from the wheelhouse. Captain Elias can't see his own deck crew 30 feet away. He is steering an $8 million vessel on faith alone.
I can't see anything, Cap. The radar is just white noise. Too much ice clutter.
The radar screen flickers with ice static. White noise, white fog, white death. Every surface the spray touches freezes instantly. Deck rails, rigging, crane arms. The mathematics become terrifying. 15 tons of ice accumulating topside, the center of gravity climbing higher every minute. The boat is becoming a pendulum. The boat feels different now. Tender is the nautical term. When a wave hits and the Titan rolls to starboard, she's slow coming back. Too slow. She hangs at the bottom of the roll. The stability calculations made in warm offices suddenly face Arctic reality. Iron Mike screams over the wind. "We need to break ice! Now!" But in zero visibility, swinging sledgehammers on a rolling deck becomes Russian roulette with physics. That $15 million cargo just became a $15 million coffin
In the white darkness, engineering meets its limits.
3:15 a.m. inside the Arctic Circle. The radar is useless. The windows are opaque with ice. The FV Titan is flying blind. Physics dictates that a 160-foot vessel needs a low center of gravity to survive the Bering Sea. But right now, 15 tons of ice cling to the upper rigging. The Titan is top-heavy, unstable.
Unknown target, 20 yards, dead ahead. Brace! Brace!
Out of the boiling sea smoke, a shadow emerges. A massive Russian trawler, lost in the fog, cutting across their bow. Captain Elias slams the throttle into full reverse. The prop churns. The momentum shifts violently. But the physics of the ice take over. The sudden braking force, combined with the top-heavy weight, throws the boat sideways. The boat doesn't just stop, it leans. 10 degrees, 20, 30. Inside the hull, the free surface effect triggers. Thousands of gallons of water in the half-full crab tanks rush to the port side, acting like a liquid battering ram, amplifying the roll. The rail dips underwater. The ocean pours onto the deck.
She's not coming back! We're hanging! We're hanging!
For 10 agonizing seconds, the Titan hangs there. Alarm bells scream. Gravity is trying to flip them. Leo grabs a potline. Iron Mike grabs Leo. They are sliding across the oily deck toward the black water. Cut the hydraulics! Get the hammers, now! There is no time for fear. Every man grabs a sledgehammer. In zero visibility, with waves crashing over their waists, they attack the boat itself. Smash! 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 They are shattering the ice armor that threatens to drown them. Hundreds of pounds of frozen spray break loose with every swing. The center of gravity inches back down. Slowly, painfully, the Titan groans and rights itself. The Russian ghost ship disappears back into the smoke. They have saved the boat. They have saved the $15 million. But they all know that was too close.
Titan, you are cleared for offload. Crane 1 is ready. Let's move this product.
Dutch Harbor. The chaos ends here. The Titan limps into port, carrying $15 million of living cargo and the scars of survival. But the money isn't safe yet. Welcome to the disassembly line. The transition from the chaotic, freezing ocean to the sterile, deafening efficiency of the factory. The crane lifts brailers, massive nets holding 1,000 pounds of crab each from the Titan's flooded holds. A tallyman stands at the hopper with a digital clicker. This is the moment of truth. Every crab must be alive and kicking. A dead crab releases toxins that spoil the meat instantly.
Dead loss. Bin 3. Mark it. Dead loss.
Dead crab equals $60 deducted straight from Captain Elias's check. The crew watches from the deck, counting the thuds. That sound is the sound of their bonus check shrinking.
Inside the plant, workers in chainmail gloves move with surgical precision. This is the butcher station. A steel wedge splits the carapace in one motion. The gilling process follows. Lungs and viscera ripped out in 0.8 seconds. The valuable leg clusters are separated from the shell. What took violence to harvest becomes sterile inventory. The ocean predator is now product. The clusters travel into continuous steam cookers. Exact temperature, 212 degrees. Duration, 20 minutes. The protein coagulates. The shell turns from muddy brown to iconic fire engine red. But the process isn't done.
Brine tank temp check. -10. Keep the salinity up.
They are plunged immediately into brine freeze tanks, supersaturated salt water at -10 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the secret. It flash freezes the meat so quickly that ice crystals don't have time to form and tear the delicate muscle fibers. It locks in the ocean-fresh taste before the crab even knows it's dead. Finally, the glaze. The frozen legs are dipped in fresh water, creating a protective ice shell to prevent freezer burn during the journey to Tokyo or New York. The final product: pristine white boxes labeled Premium King Crab. No mention of zero visibility, no record of near capsizing, no trace of Leo clinging to potlines while 30-degree lists threaten to claim them all. The checks are cut in the main office. The accountant hands Leo an envelope. He stares at $58,000, enough to save his mother. The empty Titan sits in the harbour, battered, rust-streaked, but victorious. The crew is already sleeping, but Captain Elias is looking at the weather maps for next season, ready for the next $15 million gamble. Subscribe the Pelagic Archives for more documentary.